Hello. Okay, it's very funny when you're on Facebook because it's goes three, two, one. It's like blast off. Hello, welcome to Diana the Happy Lawyer, Sunday night edition. Hmm. I guess every edition is Sunday night, but uh, yeah, I'm on my Facebook live camera again because um, I found out where I lost my charger from last week. It's at Ernie's house, and I didn't get a chance to go over there today, and just won't charge on that other battery. That other charger that I have stinks. And then I went down to the beach, and I was filming live, and it just killed the whole battery, so it didn't have time to charge up for the show. So here we are. We're on this show. So I'm just gonna hold the camera steady if that's what I have to do. How is everybody today? I had the greatest weekend. I just was so, I can't explain it. It was very peaceful, very calm, very connected to the universe. It was really really an amazing thing. Last week, my lesson was stop looking and start seeing. And I've been doing that. I've been doing that all week. I've been really paying attention to the things that are around me all the time that I don't notice. Like, well, I notice a lot of things around me, but stuff like the trees and the clouds. And, I mean, not for nothing, but Northern State Parkway is one of the most beautiful roads you're ever going to drive on from Queens out to Long Island. I mean, it's just gorgeous right around like New Hyde Park Road. It's just phenomenal. It's even more beautiful in the fall, but also Wantua Parkway. I mean, I did a lot of driving. I just kind of wandered around this weekend. It was really pretty good. I had nothing nothing that I was obligated to do. So it was really great to just be able to relax and see things. Also, I saw things that I needed to do in my home that was just like stupid little nuisance things that were irritating me. Thinking about what you know, repair, making a little bathroom repair, or changing some knobs, or doing something outside in the yard. All of that. So laundry. Laundry is always fun to get done. I really appreciate doing laundry. Here's a point of seeing. When you're, oh my God, I got to do laundry. I got to do laundry, and then I had that cold that everybody had for like 3 weeks or more. And man, all I wanted to do was laundry. I just wanted to be able to drag all that stuff down into the basement and do laundry, because that's the difference. Previously I'd just been looking at my laundry, and then after being sick and not able to do it, I was able to see that doing my laundry was really a privilege. So I just, uh, by looking at it as a privilege, I was able to get it done without a lot of stress. And, a few loads. There's one in there now, my final, what I've been wearing down to the beach in the morning when it was windy, when it was cold and rainy, snowy. I was wearing my ski clothes. So now they're in the basement. Um, so that is an example of the difference between looking and seeing. Another example I gave last week was that I had been talking about going to the Great Barrier Reef. I had my magnets, which I don't have here with me because I'm in a different room of the house. And I kept thinking, I want to go to the Great Barrier Reef. I want to go Great Barrier Reef, and it was always there. And then now it's come to my interview so that I actually see it. I can actually see myself going to the Great Barrier Reef now. And the strange thing that happened was I was talking to Ernie about it. I said, "You want to go to the Great Barrier Reef?" I think I texted him, and he said, "Yeah, sure." He didn't realize it was in Australia. Now he knows. And he asked me, we can go snorkeling. He asked me if we'd see turtles, sea turtles. And I said yes, because I had looked up all the different things that were going to be there. And then I went to visit him last weekend, actually it was, and I saw a bunch of these little turtles that he had on his desk, that he had ordered a whole bunch because he was going to bring them to Fire Island for a party. And the turtle, and he had a turtle and I had a turtle. Our turtles were like matching turtles. So that's just, now this is listening. This is when you get to the part where you're listening. So I was looking and thinking about the Great Barrier Reef. But when you're looking at something, it's like far in the distance. It's like something that you're isn't present, and you can back out of it. It's not something that's an obligation. You're just looking. You're just like testing the waters. Then when you start seeing something, then it's right there in front of you. You see it in your, even if it's just in your mind, you see it and it's live. It's there. So that was when I started to see my trip to the Great Barrier Reef. And then I started to think about the things again, start listening to things. And the funny thing that happened was when I was in court this week, I saw a friend of mine who I was talking to about the listening and I mean the looking and the seeing. And my friend Jay said to me, well, once you start seeing, then you have to start listening too. It's really important to start listening because if you're not listening, then the seeing doesn't work. So I was like, wow, you're absolutely right. You have to start listening. Once you see it, once you know that it's going to be present, it's going to be there. You're no longer backing out. You're committed. You become committed to whatever you're seeing in your future. Then you have to start listening to what the universe is telling you about it. So that's what happened with this turtle. Ernie asked me about turtles, and then all of a sudden the turtle was something that he purchased a bunch of little turtles, and now I'm wearing a turtle and he's wearing a turtle. So this is the part that I'm supposed to be listening to, so that I know that this is confirming that my idea about going to the Great Barrier Reef is correct, because now the turtles are coming to me. You know what I mean? And this little turtle, he's just the cutest little thing. I don't know if you can see his face, but when I wear him, and I've worn him for since I got him, he kind of talks to me. I don't know. It may sound crazy to other people, but this little guy talks to me. This little turtle is talking to me. I think he's alive. He's definitely got some spiritual energy in him, and he's very smooth and, I don't know, very friendly, very warm, and a symbol. And he's letting me know that he's the symbol of the Great Barrier Reef, and it's that by showing himself, he's letting me know that I should be listening, that the universe is corresponding with my visual seeing of going to the Great Barrier Reef. So more and more of that trip is like in the making. I'm really excited about it. So that's one of the things that we see in our minds, and then we have to listen to get the validation. Um, Other things that I've been listening to this week include, well, a funny thing happened. A funny thing happened in court. My friend John Cassisi, who I've known for like 30 years, came up to me. We were just standing at a table writing out some orders, and he said, "Oh, hey, there's my friend Diana, the happy lawyer." And so I said, "Yeah." So I said, "Oh, here, I pulled out a new card, the new happy lawyer card, and I gave it to him. And it's got the smiling scales of justice. Wait, here's the merch. Here's the merch that I got last week that I'm still. So this is what's on the card, the Happy Lawyer Scales of Justice. So I pulled out a card and I gave it to him, and he said, "What is this?" And I said, um, "I'm Diana, the Happy Lawyer." And he said, "What do you mean? You're really the Happy Lawyer?" And I was like, "Yes, you didn't know? You didn't know I was the Happy Lawyer? You just called me the Happy Lawyer." And he said, "I only just called you the Happy Lawyer out of just knowing you for 30 years. That's what I called you." And I was like, "What?" I was blown away that I've been doing Diana the Happy Lawyer for a year, and John didn't even know it, even though I see him most of the time. And he knew that I was Diana the Happy Lawyer just from knowing me. And he said it out loud. He spoke it. So now, me into the listening stage of the program, I'm like, wow, I heard that. Somebody not connected with, and I told him, I said, I have a website and I have a live Facebook thing and a Facebook page and t-shirts and mugs, merch, and the Happy Lawyer merchandise. And and I was just blown away. I was just blown away that he just called me Diana the Happy Lawyer out of sheer knowing me, and that was the universe, and I was listening. So because I know I've been talking about it's taking longer than it takes time. It takes time. I wanted to be here already. I want to be playing the garden and opening up the dog sanctuaries. And I'm becoming impatient, and impatience breeds doubt, and doubt breeds, lack of confidence, and then procrastination, which, is always the fallback position. I mean, I think people talk about procrastinating, but we start as procrastinators, and why wouldn't you want to procrastinate? Why would you want to go out and do something that's going to be hard? Your fallback position is always going to be procrastination. It's the tough part is to get it done, to go out there and do stuff. So that was something that I listened to this week, that the universe was telling me, yes, you are the happy lawyer. Even without the merchandise, even without the website or the Facebook page or the show, I'm the happy lawyer, and somebody that knows me forever knew that, and it was really a hysterical thing. And me and John have known each other for many years, and we always feel like he's like the male counterpart of me, and I'm like the female counterpart of him. That's how similar our vibrational energy is. So that was a blast. That was a real blast to hear that. Um, Another interesting thing that happened to me today when I was this week when I was listening. Actually, I wasn't listening. That's the problem. My friend Charlotte was going to have a gallbladder operation, and she's my friend. She's an older lady, and I love her to pieces. And so I thought it was going to be during the day, and I was going to go see her later that night. And so I called her up at about 5 o'clock, and she said she was still waiting for the surgery. And I was like, "What?" So I went to the hospital to be with her, and we're waiting and waiting, and nurse after nurse. I'm not going to mention the hospital. I wasn't impressed. Let's just say that nurse after head nurse after next level nurse, and then finally the surgical resident. 5 different people in a course of about 4.5 hours. Every one of them came in and knew less and less. And the surgery was canceled. That was obvious. That was not a problem. The problem was they didn't know why she couldn't go back on eating, why they couldn't feed, start feeding her again. The woman was hungry. I gave her a half a bagel. But the more I thought about it and I talked to her about it, the reality was I wasn't listening. We were talking about trying to get the surgery done, and nobody knew why the surgery was canceled. Even the next day, when all the people that came back from the day before somehow it got changed to a different doctor, and I guess he wasn't on yesterday or whatever, and the surgery was canceled. So you know what? This is what we came down to. The universe canceled the surgery. We don't know how it happened, and it's obvious now that the surgery wasn't supposed to happen yesterday for whatever reason. All the questions, all the waiting, all the no food after midnight stuff that went on, it didn't matter because the surgery was not supposed to happen. And I wasn't listening to that. And I just wanted to get her food. I didn't care that the surgery didn't happen. I just wanted to get her food. So so that was something that I wasn't listening to the universe, and it's not the first time that I've not listened to the universe. There was another time in Florida when I was trying to open a virtual reality um, game room, virtual reality store, and the first place that we looked at, we went in and it was a perfect location, but it stunk like uh, sewage. And they said that because it had been vacant for a while, the pipes were, not turned on, and so the sewage backs up, or what are the gas in the lines. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna be, taking a place that I'm like, how do I know it's gonna smell good? I can't spend all this money and set all this up and hope that the place doesn't smell like shit. Um, and uh, and so we didn't take that place. And then there was another place that we were looking at, and I was getting excited and getting ready to do it. And then all of a sudden, the hurricane happened. A hurricane came, and that got in the way of signing the lease. And then I forgot what it was. There was a third thing, but it was so obvious that the universe was saying to me, "Don't do this." Even though I thought I planned it out, I did all the research, we worked up a business plan, and went to the bank, and we are going to get, a business loan, and all these billboard ideas, and all kinds of stuff. And the universe kept blocking me, kept saying no, no, no. And I didn't listen. It takes me a long time sometimes for stuff to sink in because I'm very stubborn and I always think I'm right. So it takes a little while for me to say, okay, I give. So I've been, thinking about this theory of arm wrestling with the universe. Instead of listening to the universe or universal energy or something that's happening, I get into this arm wrestle thing, and it's like the universe is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and I'm little me, and it looks like I'm winning. It looks like I'm winning. It looks like I'm winning. And then, Dwayne Johnson just throws my arm back, and I go, what was I thinking? Arm wrestling with the universe. So I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to listen to the universe more and not arm wrestle with the universe. Now, the funny thing is, we all have these things that happen. We all have like that twinge at the last minute where you're driving somewhere and something says, you know what, let me let me take this other road. I know I usually don't take it, but let me just go. Let me just take it, and turns out, you hear on the radio that there was road was blocked the other way, and you saved yourself hours of time, or at least you were able to go a different way, or you drive a different way and you see somebody that's in the street that you have been waiting to see, or something like that. And it's just like what you're listening to is your gut feeling that's telling you to do something. And lots of times we don't listen to our gut feeling, like it's worse when you're driving and you're thinking like, oh, the LIE looks clear. Let me get on it. And then you get on it and at the last second, your brain says, no, 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 take the service road. You're hearing, take the service road. Don't get on the LIE. But you know better because you're arm wrestling with the universe, and you're like, "Nah, get on the LIE." And you get on it, and then there's a road closure coming up ahead because of something, and you're stuck for hours, and you're thinking, ugh, why didn't I listen to myself and take the service road? So we've all had these things happen. You have to pay attention to them and be mindful of what's going on. When you're starting to talk to yourself, um, and a lot of times, where this stuff is just going on while we're walking and talking, and something will pop in your head about uh, getting something for bringing home something for dinner, or calling somebody. All of that stuff that you're hearing in your head is the universal energy that's within you, because we all have that little divine spark that moves us around. And what it's doing is it's connecting with the outside universal energy. And sometimes it's important things. Sometimes you may pick up the phone to call a friend and find out that they just had something important happen and they needed help. And somebody that wouldn't necessarily call out for help, but here you are all of a sudden on the phone. Sometimes it could be a business thing. It could be deciding whether or not to buy a house, a particular house that you're looking at, and everything seems good, and you did all the work, and something inside you're just going, no, no, don't buy it. And you got to listen to that, because sometimes that's the right thing, the gut feeling. And sometimes it's little tiny minor things. Today I went and had my nails done, da, 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 and when they were starting to do my toenails, I didn't really like the color. And I thought, oh, well, it's far away. It's probably going to look different on my hands. And now it looks like I have Pepto-Bismol on my fingers. So I'm probably going to put a color over it because I just don't like it. But I saw it as soon as it was going on. I said to myself, I don't like this color. I should have her change it. And I said, forget it. Don't worry about it. But I mean, we're talking about nail polish. So, that's not something that's a big deal. This is what happened last week. The sun set while I was on, and so now I'm going to be, a little dark. Um, so listening to yourself is very important, and I know I've been talking a lot about meditation, and I'm going to talk about meditation again now, because when you're um, giving yourself the time to be quiet, that's when you can really listen. I mean, it kind of makes sense. If you're, listen, you could still hear stuff coming through your universal energy if you're at a rock concert. If you're out seeing The Who, you could still hear stuff coming through. But it's when we're sitting quietly that we're going to be able to really listen to what's going on. And I like to look up the quotes from different people for the different subjects. And this is what Deepak Chopra said about meditation, which I thought was great. Meditation is not a way of making your mind quiet. It's a way of entering into the quiet that's already there. buried under 50,000 thoughts that the average person thinks every day. So I thought that was really a good perspective because everybody always says to me, I can't stop thinking when I can't meditate because I can't stop thinking. And I've always said, of course, don't bother. Don't bother to stop thinking. You'll never be able to stop thinking. That's what makes us human beings. But the idea is to let the thought go. Go if it comes into your mind, just let it go. Comes into your mind, just let it go. Like clouds going through the sky. And then you could just, say, I'll think about it in 20 minutes. Give yourself a 20-minute meditation. So this is true. Deepak Chopra saying 50,000 ideas a day, 50,000 thoughts a day. How are you going to get through that? But it gives you the chance to at least sit and be still, and then you can have information that's coming uh, into your mind. You will be able to hear. And I tell you, I'll do 20-minute meditation, and my brain will take about 15 to 17 minutes to go through all of the thoughts before I get to the point where I have a space. I think that's probably why they tell you 20 minutes, because it takes that long to get to a point where you say, oh, wow, wait a second, I didn't think about something for a moment. And, that's what happens to me very frequently. And I think I've mentioned also before that I use my mantra is very frequently nothing, the word nothing. If I get thoughts that are bogging me down and I can't get rid of them, I just start thinking about nothing, nothing, nothing. And when I keep thinking about nothing, then nothing is in my mind. And it works for me. Feel free to have it work for you. There's also a great meditation that I don't know if I've mentioned here. It's Kelly Howell, Kelly Howell, Howell, might be two L's. And it's the One with God meditation. And I don't know where it's from. It's from a poem or something, a book, because Wayne Dyer was also reading from it. And but you have to listen to it with earpieces on. She says it's to go to sleep. You're supposed to listen to it and fall asleep to it. But it really is an amazing thing because it really has binaural beats, and it's got like layover, like voice upon voice upon voice, deep voices in the back. It's really cool too. And you could really get lost in it. So if you're having difficulty meditating by just sitting quietly, listen to the Kelly Howell One with God meditation. I think there's a YouTube channel called Brain Sync, BrainSync, BrainSync, Brain Sync, and that's where you're going to find her and a bunch of other. But she's got a great voice. But any meditation that you hear, any guided meditation, just listen for somebody whose voice you like. That's really the most important thing, because what's the difference if if you don't like Kelly Howell's voice, don't listen to her. Find somebody that you like, and if that starts you to at least sit and just distract your mind till you get to a point where you find that quiet spot that is under there already, um, beyond all of the millions of thoughts that you've been listening to. Um, let's see what else. Another thing I've been listening to when I'm walking and when I'm driving is nature. I've been listening to nature. I had to drive somewhere and I was on Jericho Turnpike for many miles from Queens into Nassau County, and oh, Headspace meditation app. Barry is saying he's using Headspace meditation app. I've heard of that, and I think I don't know where I heard it, but I think I heard it on a plane. But Barry, I'll try that Headspace. I've definitely heard of that. Maybe you've mentioned it to me. But so I was driving on Jericho Turnpike, and there was lots of stuff out there, cars honking and going, and trucks and da 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 da. But you know what? There was also a lot of trees with birds in them, and I could actually focus in, and I could hear the birds, and there were tons of them. I got to a spot where it was an intersection, and yeah, there were traffic and cars and everything, but also when I kind of just let that go and I listened, I could hear the birds. There was a trees full of birds, and it really made it made the ride so much more pleasant and enjoyable to just be listening to, little birds chirping, which, it was really great. Excuse me. And so that was a great thing to listen to. And of course, I always listen to uh, the waves and everything. And the thing that we should also be listening to is ourselves. We have to be listening to the words that we're using throughout the day about ourselves. Listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth about you and about situations that you're in. I talked last week about Lady Nicole who was saying that there was a woman at the office that gossiped and she really didn't like being with her. She hated being with her, but she didn't know how to tell. She didn't want to gossip. She didn't know how to say, I don't want to be involved in it. And I was like, well, listen to what you're saying. You're talking about putting yourself in a situation that's uncomfortable, and that's what a lot of times we do that all the time. And even though we're saying it out loud, even though we're saying, oh, I'm so sorry that I agreed to do this. If you're saying something like, I'm sorry I agreed to do this, you have to pay attention to what you're saying. Um, uh, using words like thinking that you're feeling unhealthy. Think about the words that what I saw a couple of words. I saw impossible. Impossible. People say that all the oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. But that word itself, if you split it up, I am, and then possible, it says I'm possible. So somebody pointed that out to me recently. I'm possible. Impossible really means I'm possible. And disease really split up is dis-ease, Disease. And when you have disease in your body, it's because you are at dis-ease in your mind. And when you are at ease in your mind, you're going to not have disease in your body. So these are things that pay attention to the words that you're using. Don't say, I hate this, I hate this. Say, I'm going to get through this. Don't say, I can't do this. Say, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And get yourself to a point where you're listening to the words, because those words have vibrational energy. And saying something like I hate something or I can't do this, it's always going to send out negative vibrational waves, and then the negative vibrational waves will come back, and the positive vibrational waves will stay away. Just like the magnets that are in the other room that I've been using for weeks, where the positive and negative don't touch each other. So that's definitely something that you want to do is listen to the words that you're using about yourself and about other people. And if somebody is annoying you, if you used to say, "Oh, that guy is so annoying," get him out of your life. If your neighbor is an idiot, my neighbor's not an idiot. I just use that as an example, but they might hear me. You're not idiots, but if your neighbor's an idiot, just don't go on that side of the house. Go someplace else, or wave from far away and move along. And think about yourself. My brother actually was talking about something. Now, you know what? It's too late to get into that now. But think about the words that you're using about yourself and about your life and about your success in business, about your bank account. Don't say I am broke. I am the two most powerful words in the universe. So definitely another half an hour, another time. The I am is the most important thing. I've said it before. So pay attention and listen to what you're saying about yourself, because the things that you're saying is what's going to come true in your life. What you focus on is what manifests in your life. So if you're focusing on lousy traffic and a crappy job, that's what you're going to have. And the point is this, even if it's not happening in front of you, you have to think and act as if it is. If you hate your job, just think, I guess, again, the remember when. My old friend Neville Goddard told the story about remember when. I remember when I was in that lousy job, and then I got a great job that I love. I remember when I was living in that little apartment and I could barely afford rent, and now I'm in a place that's amazing. And even though you're still in that little apartment and you can barely afford rent, your brain automatically puts it in the past when you say, I remember when. Neville Goddard talks about his grandfather would stand on an empty lot and say, I remember when this was an empty lot. And then he would paint a word picture of the building that he was going to put on that lot. And it made the building come into existence. And he believed that it was going to happen. He used the words and believed his life into existence. I think Buddha said that. Buddha, everything we think, everything we are is a product of what we have thought and what we have brought about by thinking. And and that's something that you have to start realizing, and you have to start looking and take responsibility for it. Don't say, oh, it's not my fault I'm in a lousy job. It's not my fault I, don't have, you know, I don't have a lot of money because I have 5 kids and I have to pay for all of them. Well, you know what? Forget about the money. Enjoy the 5 kids. Do something special with them, to do something that we used to make flowers out of egg cartons. We just go do gardening in the yard with your kids, or take a walk and look at the birds. Get a go online and print out some birds and see if you can go look at birds with them. You never know what's going to spark a child's imagination. So, if you're worried about those type of things, don't put your focus on the things that you're worried about, and start, paying attention to all the things that are great and happening in your life. And then those things will manifest. By focusing on them, you'll bring about more of them. So I'm almost sitting in the dark here. Okay, so I'm going to get my charger from Ernie. Ernie, are you listening? Because my charger's at your house and I have to get it. I'm going to get my charger from Ernie, and I'm going to be, using my other camera and not being on the Facebook thing like this. So this week, your tip for the week is going to be, again, please try meditating. It's the most important thing you can do for your life, except for quitting smoking. And sit and listen to yourself, and trust what you're hearing. Trust what you're hearing. Don't get Pepto-Bismol nails because you're afraid to speak up, or you think it's somebody. This is no big deal. This is really no big deal. But there are other things that are important things in your life, and if something's nagging you because there's a voice in your head saying, no, don't do it, then don't do it. And if you still want to do it, if you're still waiting for the gallbladder surgery and it's not happening, don't get frustrated that it's not happening. Listen to universal energy and say, okay, well, I guess it wasn't supposed to happen today. It can happen another time. And that's just the way it is. And I've had plenty of things in my life where something didn't happen the way I thought, the way I planned, and it turned out something better happened instead. And that's because universal energy is stronger than we are. It has more oomph. I can't understand it. It's got more staying power. It's got uh, more determination. And when the universal energy is leading you somewhere, even all of your pushing back and arm wrestling won't get in the way if the universe is going to steer you in a different direction. So if that different direction comes, just take it. Just relax. Be open minded. And it's I don't like not being right all the time, but sometimes it happens, and I gotta give in. Okay, it is about that time. Hello, everybody. Norman, wow, I got a big group tonight. I guess what's everybody gonna do now? Don't fill in Game of Thrones with something else, please. Go do the meditation. Okay, we got 2 ideas for meditation: Headspace, and we got the Brain Sync with Kelly Howell doing one with God universal, one with God meditation. There's a Wayne Dyer meditation that's very good. There's a Bob Proctor meditation that's very good. So tonight, for the hour that you were going to be watching Game of Thrones, please give it up. Don't turn on the TV. You'll live. There was nothing in that one space before Game of Thrones. So take that space back, take that hour back in your life and use it, especially on a Sunday night before the week of work. This is a great time to calm your mind and, get it ready for sleep, because that's what you really want to do. You really want to have a calm, at ease mind when you're going to sleep, and that's going to, start your week much better. So enjoy the night, enjoy the week. I am super excited about everything in life, and I feel great. And I love you all, and love is all you need. Good night, everybody. I'm in the dark. The sun has set on the show. Thank you. Bye.